What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how you can use Pro Video Mode on your Samsung Galaxy device to record cinematic videos or any kind of videos that you want to record while having full control over your camera. So Pro Video Mode enables you to manipulate your lighting, manipulating your focus, your ISO and all those features so that you can produce a cinematic looking video or any kind of video that you'd love to produce. Alright, so that being said, let's jump straight into the video and I show you how you can easily manipulate your Pro Mode, produce professional, cinematic and good looking videos on your smartphone. So right now all you need to do, open up your camera app. So it's right there, and then all you need to do, go to more and then you choose Pro Video. So this is your Pro Video Mode. So as I said initially, you have full control over your camera. So with full control over your camera, you're able to manipulate all these settings depending on your scene, depending on the lighting of the scene, or depending on the time of the day, so that you can produce, or you have a well-lit environment or a well-lit scene for your video. So starting from my left, from the bottom, I have settings, as you can see right here. So with that icon, you're able to come into your camera settings, and with camera settings you have all these options. So you can turn on video stabilization, you can tap onto advanced recording options right there, tracking autofocus. If you want, you can include grid lines right there, location tags, all those settings you can access them through that icon. And also the next icon from the bottom is so that icon is flash. So if you want to include flash, let me say it's like towards, let me say your scene is like it's coming to dark, or maybe it wants strain, so you can go ahead and turn on the flash if you want. The next icon is aspect ratio. So aspect ratio, you can do 16:9, which is usually the default. So you have 21. So you have 21:9, you have 1:1. So you can tap on any of those and you see whether you prefer that resolution. So this is kind of like full screen. So you have 1:1, as you can see. You have only that aspect ratio, only that area. Then we have full. So if you want your full screen, your video to cover the full screen, you can choose that one. But for this video I will stick with 16:9, which is the most commonly used one. And the next one is video size. So you can tap on that. So with this you can literally choose the video size that you want to record your video into. From top we have HD, which is high resolution, which is the smallest by size. We have full HD, we have FHD. So we have HD, we have FHD, which is full HD, 24 frames per second. We have FHD 60 frames per second, FHD 120 frames per second, Ultra HD 24, Ultra HD 30, Ultra HD 60, 8K 20 frames per second. So depending on what you want to capture, let me say you want to record a scene whereby after that whereby you want to slow it down. After you record it, you can decide to use a higher frame rate. Let me say you can choose FHD at 120 frames per second or FHD 60 frames per second, whereby with that you're able to go ahead and slow down your footage in your post-production. So in this case I'll go with the default, which is usually FHD 24 frames per second, but you can also do 30. There isn't a very big difference between that. Then the next icon moving up from the left is the color tone. So if you want to choose the color tone, you can decide to go ahead and use that icon and choose the color tone for your video. Then the next one is the histogram. So with that you're able to toggle on and off your histogram to see the highlights or the blacks in your video. So the left hand side is done right now. So we are moving on onto the right hand side. So with the right hand side, as you can see, this icon from the bottom shows you your previous videos or your photo that you've taken, and then this icon right here with the, and then this icon for the video. You can tap on that to, you know, take your video or take your photo in case you're in photo mode. So right here, as you can see, I have my options, these ones right here, which will help me to manipulate my video, how my video is going to look. However, as you can see, we have the wide lens, then we also have ultra wide lens right there, and then we also have the tele, and then we also have the telephoto lens. So you can choose which lens you want to use. You can use telephoto lens, you can use wide lens, or you can use ultra wide lens. So in this case I will stick with wide lens, but you can do ultra wide if you're interested. So I can leave it in ultra wide right now. Then also you can manipulate your ISO. So your ISO is kind of more like the light. So if your scene is well lit, now in this case, as you can see, I have my sunlight coming up already. I have, you know, the skies, I have everything well lit. So right here I can decide to go, so right now it's in 100 ISO, so I can decide to, you know, do 50. So as I go down, my lighting goes on decreasing, my scene becomes dim, as you can see. So the light goes on decreasing as I reduce the ISO. However, if you look at this scene right now, this scene is not well lit. Depending on what you want, you can leave it at that, or you can decide to increase it a little bit, include a little bit of light. You can do either 100 or 80. However, the more you increase the ISO, the more light or the more your scene becomes exposed. So let me increase the ISO. As you can see, 200. So your scene becomes exposed. Your scene is becoming overexposed, as you can see. That means that's too much light. You know, this is the ISO in this camera goes up to 3200. So as you can see, it's overexposed right there. So all you need to do is to go ahead and bring it down until your scene is pretty much well lit. So you move down. So in this case I will go with 100. Pretty much 100 is good for me. Once I'm done with that, I'll go to speed right there, or my shutter speed. So shutter speed is pretty much more like let me say it's a sport event and people are running around, or they are playing soccer, or things are moving fast. This way you will need a faster shutter speed. However, if you have, like, you know, you're recording, you know, a stationary person, or you have an event, or you have someone speaking and they're not moving at all, they're in one position, so pretty much you don't need a faster shutter speed. I can decide to, you know, to change the speed or the shutter speed depending on the scene, or depending on the event that I want to record. So as you move it down 1/2000, it becomes, you know, dark. As you increase it 1/60,000, 1/4000, 1/3000, 1/750, 1/180, you know. So this one is 1/130. That is the speed. So 1/30th of a second. So right here you're overexposing your scene. So however, you can go on, you know, changing that until your scene is properly exposed, depending on what is taking place in your scene. So in this case I will go with 1/3000 of a second. So when I'm in ultra wide lens, I won't be able to change my focus. However, if I turn it to wide, I'm able to change my focus, as you can see. So if you come to focus, you can pretty much do center. You can do multiple or manual. So you can do multiple if you have, like, your camera focusing on different people or different events within your scene, or you can do manual. You can control manual right here. You control the focus that you want, but usually I'll go with center. So center is okay, so I will go with center right there. So let me say I want now to properly light my scene in my wide lens, if I'm using my wide lens. So I'll go ahead and increase my ISO a little bit, and then I think I should be good to go. And then I also have my white balance. So my white balance in this case, since it's daylight, I'll choose the white balance which is suitable for daylight. So we choose between 5,000 to 6,000 which is between 5,000 to 6,500 Kelvin. So with this one, white balance 5,800K is pretty much fine. So I'll go with the white balance for a daylight, and pretty much this one is okay. But as I said, you can pretty much manipulate. Let me say you want it to be a little bit warmer, you can go ahead and change it. If you want to to bring that bluish in it, you can still go ahead and change that, as you can see. But in this video I'll go with 5,800 Kelvin right there. And then moving upwards, we have mic. You have Omni mic, which captures sound equally from all directions. If you want a sound from the front mic, you can choose that. If you want the sound from the rear, so you can pretty much choose the option that you want. However, in this case I'm using a microphone, I'm using the Omni mic, which is capturing sound from all directions. So I go ahead and exit that, and pretty much that's it. I also have zoom wide. So if you want to zoom in, let me say you have something that is very far away and you want to zoom in, you can still go ahead and use this control over here. So this is ultra wide. So if I want telephoto, I'll go with that. As you can see, if I want to to zoom in into something, I can go ahead and use that. As you can see, if I want to zoom in, I'll go ahead and use that right there, as you can see. So you can go ahead and zoom in. Alright, once you have your settings under control, so you can now go ahead and record your video. So guys, I'll go ahead and record different scenes using different frame rates, and let me know in the comment section down below what you think about the different frame rates and the Pro video mode for your Samsung Galaxy device.